right. Okay, welcome. As I said, this is the first webinar for the fall 2014 Tree Board webinar series. We've got Jennifer Rall with the North Carolina Forest Service this morning, going to talk initially about Arbor Day celebrations and celebrating with a purpose, and then we'll have two North Carolina communities talk about their Arbor Day celebrations specifically. We've got Richard Griggs with City of Statesville and Michael Boaz with the town of Weaverville. For Jennifer Rall, she is the Urban Forestry Program Assistant for the North Carolina Forest Service's Urban and Community Forestry Program. Jennifer has worked for the North Carolina Forest Service for 15 years and during that time has administered the Tree City USA program, Tree Line USA, and Tree Campus USA program for the Arbor Day Foundation. She's also a certified arborist, and this is Jennifer's last official presentation for the North Carolina Forest Service Urban Forestry Program, as this time next week she will begin her new job as the Urban Forester for the town of Wake Forest. We are sad to lose her from the North Carolina Forest Service, but I'll be happy to be continuing to work for her or with her as she comes on as Urban Forester for Wake Forest. With that, Jennifer, I'll get your presentation up and going. Jennifer,
right,
welcome.
Was at the end of the presentation there. Okay, here we go. Again, thank you very much for inviting me to speak on this topic of celebrating Arbor Day with a purpose. Arbor Day can be used as a starting point for initiating urban forestry management within a community. It's something that any community, organization, or school can do. And regardless of whether or not a community has a formal established tree board, any group of volunteer citizens can organize an Arbor Day celebration. And for citizens who are concerned about the state of the urban forest in their communities, Arbor Day can be a non-threatening way to introduce the benefits of trees and managing the urban forest to city council members and residents of the community, and a way to begin generating support for a formal urban forestry program. For communities who recognize the importance of managing their urban forests, the Tree USA program is the next step. As you will see on the slide, there are a total of 4 standards that communities must meet in order to be designated as a Tree City USA. And Standard 4 is an Arbor Day observance and proclamation. And it's one of the easiest standards to accomplish and can be done anytime or while work on other standards is progressing. In fact, celebrating Arbor Day as a starting point can help engage the residents, provide a platform to educate residents about the benefits of urban trees and the Tree City USA program, and generate further support for becoming a Tree City USA community. So in other words, just because celebrating Arbor Day is the last standard doesn't mean you can't accomplish it first. The Arbor Day Foundation's website lists these 4 things: framework for action, education, public image and community pride, and publicity as the benefits of becoming a Tree City USA community. If we look further into each of these benefits, we can see how an Arbor Day celebration can be used to initiate and grow an urban forestry program. Planning an Arbor Day celebration gives you a framework for action. You've got to organize a group of interested individuals who are willing to donate their time, pull together resources to make the event happen. You'll need to determine who's going to do what, when things need to be done, what partners to pull in, where's funding going to come for the Arbor Day celebration, and who to contact for information or assistance. The City of Wilmington's Tree Commission has created a really interesting job aid Arbor Day checklist, starting 5 to 8 months out before their Arbor Day celebration. And it's basically a checklist. You know, who's going to check the internet to make sure we've got the current Arbor Day information on there? Who's going to schedule the mayor to present the proclamation during the Arbor Day celebration? Make sure the mayor or city council members are going to be attending. If you've got school groups involved, you want to make sure that you've contacted the principal of the local school to make sure the kids will be involved and when they're going to show up. So it's really great to create some sort of a checklist or job aid to make sure that everything gets done for your Arbor Day celebration. And Arbor Day is a great way to educate anyone about trees. starting with educating the celebration committee members on the origins of Arbor Day, why trees are a benefit to the urban environment, and learning how to plant trees properly, then being able to disseminate that information out to city council members, the general public, and celebration attendees. And education on the benefits of trees can go a long way in building support for an urban forestry program. And looking at public image and community pride, holding an Arbor Day celebration and planting trees shows the community and visitors to the community that the residents and city officials care about the appearance of the community. Residents see how much the city cares about trees, then they have a sense of ownership and pride, which may then lead to better tree care on private property. And publicity. Arbor Day is really a great way to generate publicity for the community. If you host any type of contest for Arbor Day, then you'd have to advertise months to weeks in advance with follow-up ads or announcements to generate interest in submissions. And you can use Arbor Day celebrations to advertise an awards presentation or activities for kids that will draw people to your celebration. In looking at the Tree City USA Growth Award categories, it's a great source of ideas for kicking your Arbor Day celebrations up a notch, with the added benefit of advancing your urban forestry program. There are 4 categories of growth awards, and under each category there are some subcategories, each with a points value that can be used to submit for growth award. In looking at category A, public education or education and public relations, you can see that there are several subcategories that an Arbor Day celebration would fit well into. If your community has been doing the same old Arbor Day celebration for years, consider expanding that celebration into a community-wide tree event. As an example, the town of Indian Trail and the town of Stallings host a joint Arbor Day celebration that rotates between the 2 communities each year. This arrangement has benefited both communities in that they can share resources, they have a division of labor. Indian Trail is a Tree City USA community, so they have used this category toward growth award points. And although Stallings is not a Tree City USA community, this event has brought exposure to their residents, provides some educational opportunities, and may eventually lead to Stallings becoming a Tree City USA community. This joint celebration also generates a good bit of publicity. They send out press releases and advertisements to all the local media in both communities. The event is featured on town websites and social media, and event flyers have been provided to local businesses to display in their storefronts. As part of their Arbor Day celebrations, Indian Trail also initiated a youth education project that was set to coincide with their Arbor Day. The Mayor's Tree Education Initiative reached out to local 4th grade students. It educated them about the functions and benefits of trees in the urban environment. Both communities hosted an Arbor Day poetry contest and a high school essay contest. The joint Arbor Day celebration also includes free tree care workshops that were given by the Union County Urban Forester. So as you can see, from just one Arbor Day celebration, a community can obtain the necessary points in order to achieve Growth Award status. In looking at Category B, partnerships, again, Arbor Day celebrations can be a great way to explore partnership opportunities and even highlight unique partnerships. Arbor Day can be used to roll out a new project that the tree board is undertaking, or used as the culmination of a successful project. The City of Fayetteville's Public Works Commission initiated its Tree Power Program to promote smart planting to protect urban trees and utility infrastructure. As part of this project, they held a seminar called Plan, Plant, Protect during their Arbor Day celebration. They distributed information about planting the right tree in the right place to avoid utility conflicts, and they also had several different giveaways that they could give out to attendees and get their message across. For utility partnerships, Union Power Cooperative is a Tree Line USA utility out of Monroe, North Carolina. they had a unique partnership with Habitat for Humanity of Union County to plant trees at a newly built Habitat house. This allowed them the opportunity to plant the appropriate tree species in the appropriate place, avoiding utility infrastructure conflicts, and also educating residents about the proper selection of species, proper site selection, and planting methods. The City of Winston-Salem holds an annual tree planting project for their Arbor Day celebration, which they call Community Roots Day. And it involves hundreds of volunteers planting hundreds of trees in a selected neighborhood. This massive undertaking requires significant funding. They have been able to successfully solicit funding from local businesses to help offset the purchase of the trees. And those sponsors are recognized during their opening ceremony for the tree planting event. So they found a way to get external funding to help support their Arbor Day program and plant trees. Last year, I believe they planted over 400 trees with over 500 volunteers. They were able to secure $10,000 in funding for that event. Category B6, tree planting on private property. I think there are probably some missed opportunities when it comes to tree planting and Arbor Day. Partnering with private property owners, be it a homeowner, a business owner, or housing development, can be a way to help communities reach their tree planting or canopy goals. There are a number of low-income housing developments that are devoid of trees. So why not partner with the property owner and residents, maybe even pull in local police departments to help plant trees around the development? There has been research done that shows that trees in urban environments can help reduce stress, reduce crime rates, reduce violence among residents. And furthermore, I think canopy studies have also shown that their tree cover in lower income neighborhoods is significantly less than in other neighborhoods. So I think this is a great opportunity to really increase our canopy goals by planting on private property, especially in our lower income areas or our underserved areas of the community. And citizen training programs, in much the same way that Arbor Day celebrations provide a setting for hosting educational workshops, it can also be used to train citizen volunteers that can help the community with tree maintenance tasks. Volunteers can be trained on proper pruning techniques, using hands-on demonstrations, and then maybe sent out to prune the trees that were planted during last year's Arbor Day celebration. There are many ways to celebrate Arbor Day, and there's really no right or wrong way to do it. Many communities have hosted a photo or poster contest for their school students, and maybe have even combined those with poetry and essay contests for older students. Have you ever thought about opening up those contests to adults? There are probably many talented folks in your community that may want to take advantage of a contest to show off their talents. When we switched a couple years ago from a poster contest strictly for 5th grade students to a photo contest for 5th through 12th grade students, I got several emails asking if the contest was open to adults. So I know that there's interest out there. If you can get sponsorships for the contest, then prizes for winners can be the sky's limit. You could select photos for a community calendar or print a set of blank note cards featuring the winning photograph. The town of Wake Forest actually selects their winning poster and features it on mugs, T-shirts, and tote bags that they give away during their Arbor Day celebration. As mentioned earlier, Arbor Day celebrations provide a platform for offering educational workshops, presentations, and demonstrations. These workshops can be provided to people of all ages. You just need to ask a local expert to provide a workshop based on tree-related issues in your community. Is there a rash of crepe murder going on in your community? Then have an outside expert explain why topping is bad. Is there issue with invasive species, either plants, insects, or diseases affecting community trees? Then bring in an expert that can explain how the invasive plant or insect or disease is spread, how it affects the tree, how it can be treated or prevented. I will caution that you want to make sure your expert isn't too technical and over the heads of your your participants. But I think that would be a great idea to focus on a topic of concern in your community and have a local expert provide some information on that topic. Many communities also have a community tree awards program or beautification program where they recognize residences or businesses for proper tree care and landscaping. And many of these awards are presented during their Arbor Day celebration, where there is probably increased publicity for the awards program. And Arbor Day can also be combined with other events or celebrations. I know the most common is combining it with Earth Day, but it doesn't have to be limited to that. Did you know there was such a thing as Jewish Arbor Day? I didn't until I received the City of Wilmington's Tree City USA application one year and saw that they had not one, but two Arbor Day celebrations, one being Jewish Arbor Day, or the Jewish New Year of the Trees. And I'm not going to try to pronounce that name for the Jewish Arbor Day, which is why you see it on your screen, so you can Google that at your leisure. But I think that was a great idea. It was something different that the community recognized, partnered with a faith-based community to plant trees. They partnered with 2 local synagogues for tree planting, litter cleanup, a tree giveaway, also had an ecology fair and a nature walk with Audubon, North Carolina. So I thought that was a really great partnership and different celebration and combination of Arbor Day celebrations. So when it comes to Arbor Day celebrations, really think outside the box, and I think you'll discover a whole new way to celebrate. Arbor Day celebrations are also a great way to create partnerships. Partnering with a local Treeline USA utility or Tree Campus USA can help increase attendance at Arbor Day celebrations. If you don't have a Treeline USA in your community, you can still partner with a local electric co-op or even the municipality's utility department to host an Arbor Day celebration, and maybe begin the process of getting the utility working toward Treeline USA status. And much the same can be done with a local community college in the community or that would serve the community. Tree Campus USA program requires one additional standard than Tree City or Treeline, and that is for the students to do a service learning project. So if there is a local college or university in your area, talk to them about partnering on an Arbor Day celebration and providing a service learning project for students on campus. And again, helping the campus work towards Tree Campus USA status. Also, don't forget to include your local businesses in your Arbor Day celebration planning. You may find that businesses would be willing to sponsor the celebration in some form, either offering prizes for contest winners or donating money to purchase trees. The City of Durham had a unique idea to engage local business owners and ensure the free trees given away during Arbor Day were planted. The local businesses agreed to give customers who brought in a picture of showing that their tree being planted, and they would give the customer something for free. So if it was the local coffee shop, if someone brought in a picture of the tree that they got at Arbor Day and they show it being planted, they might get a free cup of coffee or a free Danish at the bakery. And I thought that was a really unique idea. I think a lot of folks, they pick up a free tree at Arbor Day, they think it's a great thing, they get it home, and then it just sits there and dies. They don't actually plant it. So I thought this was a really great way to get people something for free for planting their tree that they received at Arbor Day. Also, don't forget your local nonprofit organizations. And again, think outside the box when looking to create a partnership with these organizations. As I mentioned earlier, you could partner with your local Habitat for Humanity to plant trees and celebrate Arbor Day at newly built habitat houses. Local Boy Scout or Girl Scout troops or your Boys and Girls Clubs sometimes are looking for projects to participate in. But also take a look around your community and see what other nonprofits there are and reach out to them, even if their mission is not tree related. One of the other great things that the town of Indian Trail did, in addition to their Arbor Day celebration, they hosted a town-wide cleanup and humanitarian efforts. They actually asked homeowners associations to participate by donating food to the local food bank. So there you've got another win-win situation. Arbor Day celebration, and donating to the local food bank. And as we all know, trees benefit us all. So it's in our best interest to work with all groups to increase the awareness and importance of trees in our community. And I think Arbor Day is a really great way to do that. And that concludes my portion of the presentation. And I will turn it back over to Leslie.
All right, great. Thanks, Jennifer. And, knowing that Jennifer is with the North Carolina Forest Service, and most, or actually all of the examples that she gave everybody was North Carolina community specific, I think they can easily be transferred to other states across the country. We're just kind of pulling from our resources and our experience here in North Carolina to kind of highlight some examples and showcase some ways that Arbor Day can be used to further your urban forestry program. So now we've got Richard Griggs. He's going to talk for a few minutes about their Arbor Day celebration in the city of Statesville. Richard is the program director for the Statesville Recreation and Parks Department. He is a 2002 graduate from NC State University with a bachelor's degree in Parks, Recreation, and Tourism Management. And he's been with the city for 5 years and oversees the Arbor Day celebration there. So Richard, if you would like to take a few minutes to kind of go over your program there and how it works, that would be great.
Sure. Am I still muted?
Nope, you are good.
Okay, cool. Well, yeah, thanks for the opportunity to talk for a few minutes. City of Statesville, this 2014 Arbor Day event marked our 22nd year as a Tree City USA. We started, initially our Arbor Day observances included different events ranging from luncheons to seminars and community tree plantings and things like that. In 2002, the Statesville Tree Board created our first Arbor Day Children's Festival at Lakewood Park. And this was basically, what it sounds like. We were giving away tree seedlings and had different activities for kids to participate in, be it tree identification activities or games that were sort of tree-oriented, things like that. We did that for 10 years, and it was always fairly successful, but it really, only appealed towards children. In 2012, the Tree Board partnered with the programming division of our Recreation and Parks Department to combine their Children's Arbor Day Festival with, we were already doing a Green Fair event that we'd been doing for a couple years. The Green Fair was something that we started in 2010, and it was an adult-oriented event that featured farmers market type vendors as well as information booths and speakers on various environmentally friendly topics. We'd have speakers on things like native plants in North Carolina or how to increase, the energy efficiency of your home or anything that we kind of felt was sort of an eco-friendly topic. So in 2012, we combined those two events, and as we expected, we attracted a lot more visitors since now we had things that were appealing both to children as well as adults. We moved that event from Lakewood Park over to our Statesville Soccer Complex, which put it right along our busiest, most popular section of Greenway. So now, in addition to the people that were coming out specifically for that event, we were also starting to draw people who were just out enjoying the Greenway for that day, which was really cool. It's always a cool thing when you're just out riding your bike and you can stumble upon something like that. We partnered with our event now is really built around partnerships. We partner with Thorlo. Thorlo socks are made here in Statesville. So now we host an annual 5K to kick off that Arbor Day celebration that morning. And we put the start and finish line. It's on our Greenway, and we put that start and finish line right near where we have our Arbor Day celebration. We do awards for the 5K in conjunction with the Arbor Day celebration. So all those runners are now coming over and kind of getting in the mix of our celebration. What our celebration now consists of, this last year was probably 60 or so vendors of all different kinds of stuff. We've got still the farmers market style vendors. We had a balloon company that was offering tethered balloon rides. We partner with a local community college to do guided nature walks. We have organizations like the United Way and all their agency partners out there who have information booth set up or activities for kids and adults. We still do the tree giveaways. We give away 1,000 seedlings, and the tree board mans that and talks about native trees and how to care for the tree seedlings that they're giving away. So really all kinds of stuff, and still a lot of information booths on, just anything that people might want to know about eco-friendly opportunities or clubs here in our area. We partner with the 4-H clubs. We usually have a radio station out there that kind of emcees the whole event for us and broadcasts live for a couple hours during the event. This year, we have been approached by the Boy Scouts, our local chapter, our local council of the Boy Scouts of America. They want to bring their annual Scout Show to be part of the event, which will be really cool. That'll add probably an additional 20 children's-oriented activities to our event. We had our local disc golf club set up. The city of Statesville is going to do a whole touch-a-truck event. So it's really turned into being a really, really large community event that, kind of is centered around, it's still the Arbor Day celebration, and it's centered around trees and community appearance and things like that, but we're really turning it into more of a community health and wellness fair. So it's been a really great thing for us, and we're excited to see where it goes in the future. So unless there's any questions later, that's pretty much our celebration in a nutshell.
Okay, great. Thanks, Richard. If you'll stay until the end, I know we'll probably have a couple of questions.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay, great. All right, so you heard from one community, and we've got one other community that we asked to do a presentation on their Arbor Day celebration because they've done a pretty good job, actually an excellent job at getting their Arbor Day celebration up and running. Just give it a couple seconds for it to start up here. But we've asked Michael Boaz with the town of Weaverville. He's the town manager there in Weaverville, and he's been in that position for almost the last 4 years and has been working pretty closely on their Arbor Day celebration. So with that, Michael, you can take it from there.
Sure. So just a little bit about Weaverville. We're about 3,700 people just outside of Asheville. Tree City USA since 1990, I think, and also won the Growth Award for a number of years. And I think this is right, 2009 Tree City USA of the Year for North Carolina. We think our Arbor Day celebration does a pretty good job of involving the community and getting people out, and so you might wonder how we do that because is planting a tree all that interesting. And so one of the things we do is partner with some local school groups to get them out, and thus obviously that brings out their parents and grandparents, and we average about 50, somewhere between 50 and 75 people for our Arbor Day celebration, which I think is pretty good for a town our size. So like I said, one of the things that happens, and you can see them here, is the middle school jazz band comes and plays a couple of songs for our Arbor Day celebration. And then on top of that, we also have the chorus group from our local elementary school come and they sing a couple of songs. And so obviously, like I said, that brings out their parents and grandparents. Our tree board, is pretty active, obviously, in the Arbor Day celebration, and they sponsor a number of contests. We've had a poster contest and a poetry contest, and that's divided up into different for different age groups. We post the winning entries at our local library, and the kids get a trophy and a small nominal cash prize for winning that. Tree Board also sponsors a beautification award that they give out during our Arbor Day celebration every year. It's given to 1 to 3 homeowners or businesses who have done a great job during the course of that year in beautifying their property. In 2013, we did something a little bit different. We partnered with Asheville Greenworks, which is a group out of Asheville that their mission is to beautify Asheville and promote environmentally friendly policies and that sort of thing. They have a number of superheroes, basically, that they use to go into schools and educate kids about recycling and about energy conservation, that sort of thing. And we worked with them in 2013. We didn't do our poetry contest. Instead, we did a contest where the kids designed the new a superhero about a tree superhero, and they sketched the picture of it and gave it its backstory and its superpowers and all that sort of stuff. And then Ash for Greenworks picked the winner, and they actually made the costume for the superhero, and that's been added to their group of superheroes that they use to take all over Buncombe County to educate kids about trees and the other stuff that they do. So we are, like I said, our tree board's very involved. We start planning probably 2 to 3 months in advance, and they coordinate all of those contests, coordinate with the schools to make all that happen. They pick the winners of the beautification award. They're normally the judges of the contests, and they help coordinate the jazz band and elementary school chorus. And then the staff does the logistical work of getting all the chairs set up in the sound system and ordering the trophies and whatnot. But the tree board's really very active here, and we try to keep them involved in that, get people out for our ceremony, and we think it helps promote, our tree canopy, which we think is great. We very happy to be a Tree City USA, and think it adds something to our community. And that's my sort of presentation, and I'll stick around for any questions that folks might have.
Okay, great. Thank you, Michael. So now we can take questions from the attendees. Excuse me, sorry. Just post a question, and you just click on the Q&A tab at the top left of your computer. You can type a question in there, and I'll get it and read it out, and then the presenters will take their turns if it's multi-presenter type question, and we'll go from there. So if you've got any questions, just start typing away. I'll get started here. I've got a question for Richard. When you saw the change in, I guess you said it was 2013 when you brought in Thorlow and you started doing the races and all that kind of stuff, have you seen a change in community support for tree care in Statesville with that?
Excuse me. Yeah, I think so. It seems like more of the trees are getting planted. I love the idea that the first presenter mentioned about finding businesses that'll partner if you actually bring a picture of the tree being planted. But I think that was the question for a long time: is we're giving away all these trees, how many of these are actually going in the ground? And because of the more people that we're getting out and the different types of people that are coming to the event, we get more feedback that more trees are getting planted. So. We also work pretty closely with our city arborist, and so it's been a pretty good resource to have all those folks participating in this event. And I think because of that, more people are more inclined to plant the tree because they feel like they're better educated on how to maintain and care for the tree.
That's great. So let's see if people have any questions. I haven't gotten any yet come through, but I don't know, Jennifer, if you have anything to add. After listening to Michael and Richard's talk, we definitely have a few minutes. You want to do that?
Sure. I think it's really great that I thought for years Statesville's Children's Festival Arbor Day Celebration was a really great idea. Really seemed to have a lot of great activities for kids to do, which is great, and it does bring out their parents. But I really think, too, we need to start also pulling in the adults. The adults, it's great the kids come home with a tree. They say, Mommy, look, I got a tree. But, yeah, is Mommy going to plant the tree? Is she going to read the information about proper planting? Where does the tree go in the yard, that kind of thing. So I think really pulling in and engaging the adults a little bit more is also beneficial. And that's where partnering with some different organizations, again, thinking outside the box of your typical tree-related organizations. Really think outside the box. Looking at, maybe even nursing facilities or senior centers or, senior retirement villages, things of that nature. Do some tree planting projects around those areas, bring out the senior residents and talk to them about the benefits of trees. really start promoting health. What health benefits trees provide residents. I think a lot of people do not know that information, that trees actually benefit our health in various ways. So I think that's a really great idea to start pulling in different portions and sections of our community.
Well, yeah, I think like you said about the adults, that's been one thing that we've noticed. Like I was saying, you get people who come up and the kids want a tree, they want a particular tree, they look at the pictures, and having the staff there or the tree board there and the arborist there who will say, well, that's great. Where you plan on planting the tree? How much height do you have available? Things like that. And you can kind of say, well, this would really be a better tree for that area. So we typically have about 8 different options of trees, and the staff there is really great to help people select the right tree that's going to kind of thrive in the area that they have to plant it.
Okay, we have a question that got posted from Alan Richardson. He wanted to know, Jennifer, if there is a list of dates of Arbor Day celebrations that take place across the state.
I don't have a list of Arbor Day celebration dates from across North Carolina, and the state Arbor Day for North Carolina is the first Friday after March 15th. A lot of folks will use that date as their Arbor Day celebration date. A lot of folks will use National Arbor Day, which is in April, and typically why they combine it with Earth Day, since Earth Day and Arbor Day celebrations in April are typically around the same date. But it's really any time a community chooses. Again, considering the proper planting time of year. I think Weaverville typically waits till May to do their Arbor Day celebration. But again, they're in the mountains, so it may take a little bit more time to warm up the soil so they can actually plant trees. Some communities wait until October or November to hold their Arbor Day celebrations. So it's really up to the community to decide which, either spring or fall, is best for them in their community to hold an Arbor Day celebration. And then just as long as, if you're a Tree City USA community, making sure the mayor makes that proclamation of which date is Arbor Day. So again, it varies, and there's really, again, really no right or wrong answer, just whatever is what is in the community's best interest and what they decide.
Okay. And I think Alan, if you ask that question in order to kind of figure out if you have any neighboring communities that celebrate Arbor Day around the same time, I guess whoever comes in behind Jennifer, she would have access to that. He or she would have access to that as their applications and stuff come in, the requests for county involvement come in. And you might be able to partner with even neighboring communities to try and do a bigger event. I've seen or I've heard of that happening in other states across the country, where 2 smaller communities that are neighbors will work together, combine their resources and that kind of thing to have a more involved in a full day kind of event. But that could be something like I see working as well.
Definitely. And either neighboring communities or your tree line, tree campus, communities within your area, again, just reach out and ask them when they typically celebrate Arbor Day. And if it's not the same time of year that you do it, compromise. We'll do it in your community this year on this date. Next year we'll do it in our community on this date. It's really just developing those partnerships and coming to a consensus as to what's going to work best.
Okay, great. Thanks. I don't have any other questions coming through right now, so we'll go ahead and wrap it up. But I wanted to point out that we do have 3 other webinars that are going to take place this fall, once a month now until the end of the year. They are listed on this page here. The next one is tree inventories on October 28th. We've got Alan Moore with the Forest Service, and we're going to have a couple of North Carolina communities also talk about their tree inventories and how they were completed using volunteers or tree board members or even hired consultants. We're going to try and get some samples on how they were actually done, how they're used, and kind of lessons learned on tree inventories. So mark your calendar. You can register on our website for that one, and the other 2 they're in November and December. We've got some great presentations and great speakers lined up for that. And then I'd like to also take a minute to thank Dudley Hartle with the U.S. Forest Service. He's hosting the webinars for us and helping with a lot of the technical background stuff to get these webinars completed. Without the U.S. Forest Service support, we wouldn't be able to have these webinars free for everybody to watch and participate in. We will be recording, or we have recorded this webinar. I'll get it uploaded to our website, available for viewing by the end of this week. And I'm also going to be emailing everybody out kind of an evaluation for this webinar, to see get your thoughts and input on what was covered here, what topics you might want to hear in the future, because we hope to continue this webinar series into 2015 and beyond, offering anywhere from 3 to 5 webinars each year. So with that, thank you, everybody, for taking time out of your morning to participate. I really appreciate your involvement and wanting to learn more and get your tree boards working on the ground, growing your programs in the community. So with that, everybody, you're welcome to go about your business for the day. And here's my contact information here if you need to get in touch with me with any questions or concerns. My email address or phone number is listed here. So, all right, have a good day, everybody.
Thanks.
You still on, Leslie?
I am indeed. All right, I'm stopping the recording.